If you've seen my previous video, I did a tutorial on how to create the spiral Betty using a Cricut. So I will not go into that portion of it right now. You can watch the video first if you're not quite sure how to do this. And the two projects that I showed in that one were this, and then I also had this on there. In this video, I'd like to show you 5 different projects that you can create using this popular method with the spiral Betty. All of the images that I'm using in this video are from Creative Fabrica, except for this one, which I purchased off Etsy. I will link below all of the various images that I'm using in this project in case you're interested in those. But I just want to let you know where I purchased the images from. So what I did with this one, I took, this is 651 vinyl, which is the permanent vinyl, and did the weeding, and then applied it to acetate. Why acetate? You could certainly do it directly on whatever color paper, but what I thought was if I put it on acetate, I wanted to put this in a frame. And I thought, well, I'm gonna put it on yellow background, you know, and you may want to change it. If you do it on the acetate, you don't commit this to always having it on yellow. If you want to change it to black another week, you can do that. Look how striking that is against the black, and then here it is against the yellow. So really any of them would work, but you can change it for your decor. For this, I'm going to put just 2 little pieces of double-sided tape, and I'm putting it in the section where it has the most coverage so that you can't see it. The reason I'm doing this is just more to keep it in place in the frame. This is the frame that I'm using. It's a shadow box, and I've used this in some of my other projects. I get these at Walmart, and they're pretty inexpensive for a frame. It's like 10 bucks. Okay, so that's project number 1. For project number 2, I'm using a mug, and for this one I cut out this hummingbird. Now let me tell you, for this one I had to use a magnifying glass. This is pretty much like the thickness of hair. It was a little tough to weed this part, but I did it. This comes off with the transfer tape. And for these I used Oracle 651. For some of the other ones I think it's Cricut vinyl, and then the transfer tape is Cricut. Before applying the vinyl to the mug, I'm going to use some alcohol to wipe the mug, just to take off any prints, to take off anything, you know, just from touching it you're leaving grease marks on it from your fingers. So just wipe off the mug. So I'll use this to kind of stabilize it, and then apply this on here. Okay, so I applied the center here, and you're gonna have to kind of just work your way out with it, so that to make sure that you're taking out bubbles and trying to get it as smooth as possible. The more curved it is to the mug, the harder it is to do the transfer, and you can cut this a little bit in places if it helps to kind of form around the cup area. But that's project number 2. For project number 3, I will apply an HTV vinyl done with the same spiral Betty design. Remember that when you do this one, the shiny side goes down on your Cricut mat, and you usually mirror these images. Some it doesn't matter if they're, you know, the same on both sides. This I wanted the paw print to be over the heart area when you wear the shirt. That's where this is. And here is the shirt. So I took that design and used my heat press and then put it on here. So that's t-shirt option. I am using, this is a 651 again, which is the permanent vinyl. And I will take this and put it on CDs. So I'm gonna take this and then apply it on here, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do with it once I put it on. I'm gonna take some transfer paper, and kind of the same way that it was applied to the mug, just gonna set it down. It's gonna be a little easier because there isn't the curve like it was with the mug. And if you find that this doesn't transfer easily, you can always use your scraper and hold it as you roll backwards. Just kind of apply pressure here, and then it helps push it against the transfer tape. But this one seems to stick pretty well. Now if I look here in the middle, it's looking like it doesn't want to, so I will use that technique. So for this little area, because right now if I pull up on it, this is gonna transfer, keep staying on the transfer tape. What I did was I cut just a little tiny piece of acetate. Okay, so now I've added the one on one side, but it still moves. So what I would do at this point is I'm just going to take one more to be a little bigger, and I'm going to put it on the back side of this. Now I'm using art glitter glue, and this will dry clear. And then we'll do this one the same way. And I finished the last of the CDs, and this is a great way to recycle old CDs that you'd no longer use. So now what I want to do is I want to put holes in it at the top and bottom, because I want to connect all three of these like this. I'll do the bee right at the top and then the two flowers on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm using this crocodile from We Are Memory Keepers. It has a couple of different hole punches you can use, and I'm gonna go right at the edge here, and then the other side. And this is where I'm going to add the string for this, and repeat with the other two CDs. And this one, the stem could be straight up. I'm gonna put it where the stem is slightly off to an angle, so I want to do it this way as far as the top and the bottom. And actually this one does not need a hole on the bottom, because this is gonna be the bottommost CD in the trio. And now I'm using these jump rings. They're 8mm jump rings, and I will do 3 together. So this is gonna go in to the bottom here, then I'll do one more on here and close it back up. You could add some beads in between this if you wanted to, so you know, but I added the 2 instead of tying them together where it might be a little harder to turn. I added 3 of them connected, that way they can kind of rotate in the wind. Okay, I connected these together, and then for this last one I'm just going to add the string through this last hole so I have a place to hang it. Okay, and there is the CD display, and this would be really pretty just to hang outside, and as the wind turns it around you'll also get the reflections on it, but then the one side has the pretty designs on it. So that's project number 4 with the Spiral Betty. Okay, and that brings us to project number 5. For this one I'm using a piece of acetate that I cut out with a circle, and then for this what I cut for the Spiral Betty is this Tree of Life. So with this we're gonna make a sun catcher. This is all cut with the 651 vinyl, so I'm gonna set that aside. Now to prep the sun catcher portion of it, I'm taking this acetate and then I'm using alcohol inks to create a background for the design once I apply that. So I'll just add some alcohol. I want kind of greenish down here, and then we'll do some browns for the bottom where the roots are. And then I'm using some alcohol to kind of dilute this and help spread it. You can pick up the acetate and have the alcohol ink run also. And then up here I want to do just some blues and with a touch of pink for an interesting add to the sky. Okay, and then once you're happy with the design that you've done on your background, then we need to let this dry. Once this is dry, so this I transferred and then just apply it. And I'm putting it on the side where the alcohol ink is. You can do it on the other side and then just spray this side with some UV protectant. I've done another sun catcher using alcohol ink, and I've had it in the window for the last maybe 8-10 months, and it has not faded. So you can add it if you'd like. I'm fine with it this way. I can always remake it if it's not, you know, if it starts fading. So now I'll do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna use this crocodile to create a little hole, and I'm using the smaller one on this side for this one. And then I'll just add the little string right at the top. If you like making sun catchers, you can check out my other video that has making sun catcher using Yupo paper, and it's just with alcohol ink. Alright, so there is the sun catcher. If you create any of these projects or any projects at all using the Spiral Betty, I would love for you to join my Facebook group and share your projects there and maybe inspire some others with your project. I hope this video was inspiring for you to create some fun projects using the Spiral Betty technique. So we've got the sun catcher where you can upcycle some CDs, make yourself a t-shirt or a mug if you'd like, and of course you can just frame your project as an option. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next project.